Alright, we are going to be talking about everything that is coming to the new update of Project Slayers. There's a lot coming, so let's not waste any time and get straight into the leaks. Okay, so we're obviously going to get an update for Project Slayer sooner or later, so let me tell you guys what I think, or what the masses of people think, will be the theme of the next update and all of the things that we will be getting in the next update. So, the main belief is that it will be a Mugen Train themed update. The reason for that being is we have a lot of sneaks and a lot of demon arts and stuff that sort of support that idea, a lot of models that are from the Mugen Train movie. One of those being the actual Mugen Train. Now, the Mugen Train model is actually used in the game right now. It is used in one of the PvP maps, but that isn't the only evidence that people use. A lot of people think that Mugen Train model is going to be used, so you're going to actually be on the Mugen Train, you'll be in the Mugen Train, there's going to be things going on. I personally think it's going to be event-based, sort of raid-based, similar to the Slayer exams, and it's just going to be like maybe some bosses, or maybe it's going to be an area in the map. But regardless of what it may be, I do think it's going to be a little interesting on how it works, because it is kind of a big point in the anime that or in the movie, whatever, that the Mugen Train was moving at one point and that it crashed. So I am very curious to see how they're going to handle that, how it's going to work out, what the Mugen Train's like, what exactly is going to go on. Is the Mugen Train going to be moving? Is it going to be a place we can go? Is it going to be event based? Is it going to be already crashed when we get there? What's going to be there? Will there be like an Akaza boss? Like what demons will be there? All that stuff. It's definitely interesting to think about, but let's go over the sneaks that we have for now before we get too ahead of ourselves with theorizing. The next sneak is that we have received a tongue on a hand, pretty much, which is one of the demon arts for the demons in the movie. I can't remember their name, but they put people to sleep and that's their ability. So I'm very curious on what that moveset is going to be, considering the fact their only ability was to really put people to sleep, make them question whether they were awake or dreaming, and how the only way they could wake them up is killing themselves in their dreams. So it's definitely interesting to think about how that demon art is going to work in PvP, or even, in PvE, just in general, how it's going to work is definitely interesting. The next leak that we have gotten was actually very interesting. It's very enigmatic. It's very confusing to look at first, but it just seems to be at first glance a big blob with hands and light dots all over it. And somehow, some way, somebody figured out where that was from, and it's actually the big blob, like fleshy demon from the Mugen Train movie that had all the hands and all the eyes everywhere that Inosuke and Tanjiro ended up fighting. So that was definitely really interesting. The fact that they're adding that, it makes me believe that it would be a similar fight to the other hand demon, the other really big demon in the Slayer exams that's also in the game. If you haven't done the Slayer exams, there's a big demon there. So thinking of it like that is what really made me believe that, hey, this might be like event based, because maybe you like go on the train with your friends and then like you fight through and you fight that big demon with the hands on it, and then you get to the demon who puts people to sleep and you have to keep fighting, like you keep being put into a dream, you got to keep waking yourself up. And then you go fight that demon, and then you go down, and who knows, maybe you fight Akaza, because we actually don't have any like proof on it, but it is widely believed that we could be getting Akaza in this. So that would be maybe 2 demon arts, or maybe we wouldn't get that first one as a demon art that we could use, but we get Akaza's demon art as a demon art we can use, and then that way we just get the sleep demon art as simply a boss fight, and that model was only used as a boss. But who knows? Again, that's all theorization. Nothing's completely concrete, but it would make for one of the only bosses, I believe, where you don't get their abilities. So that would definitely be really interesting. But again, it just seems like such a weird ability to implement to be used by a player. So yeah, that's always something you have to sort of think about. And then the last thing, which is also one of the most exciting things and one of the weirdest things when you really sit down and think about it, is that a lot of people believe that we'll be getting a new breathing style, of course, right? Because if you're getting a new demon art and you're getting a new boss and a new update's coming about, adding a bunch of content, it would be weird to not give the Slayers any new content. So, obviously a breathing style had to have been added if it's a new major update. And a lot of people think that it will be flame breathing. If you don't know why, it's because flame breathing is when we really first see Rengoku put his flame abilities to the test, and we see all the forms he uses was in that movie. So it would make a lot of sense to see flame breathing be added. And it's also, the reason it's weird is that flame breathing was not added during release. And that, I don't know if that was just me, but I find that really interesting because I feel like almost every Demon Slayer game would add would add fire. Have I been saying wind? I don't know. Would add flame breathing before they'd add things like insect. It's just odd to me that some breathing styles got priority over flame. I feel like the main three that people really want in a game is thunder, flame, because those are the coolest ones, you know, those are the go-tos, those are the most picked, those are the most wanted generally, and then water, because it's the main characters. You need to have the main characters, you know, you can't not. So it's just really interesting to me that flame breathing was not added on release in this game. But yeah, a lot of people do believe that flame breathing will be added. It is still really weird to me that insect got priority over flame, even though we've barely seen insect in the anime. And wind, I don't know. So, sometimes it's there off release, sometimes it isn't with these Demon Slayer games. So I'm not too surprised that it was there off of release. But again, still weird that it got priority over flame. There isn't really anything else that we could look over. Just to go backtrack and look back again, there we got a train leak, we got a mouth leak for one of the demons, their demon arts, whatever, and we got the big demon on the Mugen train. So it is most definitely a Mugen train themed update. How that Mugen train thing will function is beyond me. I don't know if it will be its own thing similar to the Slayer exams. I don't know if it will be a separate location. I don't know if the train will be moving. It would be kind of lame if the train wasn't moving, and it would also defeat the purpose of that big demon, because, you know, obviously how are you going to fight it if the train isn't really moving? I feel like it would make it a lot more lackluster. And a lot of the key points in that anime were because, you know, the train was moving, so it was really, really cool. But yeah, I think, me personally, how I would want it to work is I would prefer if it were a raid themed system where there were set times, or if there was a location you could go to that would teleport you, and then you'd go on the train with your friends, you'd go jump up to the roof, everybody would be put to sleep, you would have to work your way up, fight through sleep, while fighting your sleepiness, you'd fight that big demon, work your way up some more, then fight that demon that's been putting people to sleep. The train would eventually crash, and then you would go down and fight Akaza. Whether or not you use flame breathing in this, again, doesn't really matter, because I don't think other NPC allies would be there, like Rengoku or anything. I think it's supposed to be, you know, your own experience, so that would be definitely interesting. I personally think that you should be able to solo it. I don't like the fact that you can't solo things in games. I don't like the fact that you have to rely on people. I think that's pretty dumb. I don't know, that's just a personal thing. I think it should scale up if you have more people with you, as generally multiplayer things tend to do. So yeah, that's pretty much all the sneaks. Those are my thoughts, that's my theorizations. Take it as you will. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed 8 minutes of me rambling on about sneaks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.